Hello everyone, I'm Nola and welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, July the 4th, 2025, and to my people back home in America, happy 4th of July. I'm homesick and I miss you all. To all of my subscribers, especially the new ones, thank you and welcome. I'm going to get right down to business today, and I felt led to speak about loyalty. And what it actually means. It's not the kind of loyalty that you read in birthday cards or at church or in church bulletins, but the real kind. The kind of loyalty I'd like to speak about is the kind of loyalty that holds families together, the kind that keeps women silent, the kind that makes you question your own truth because someone you love told you to. I've been thinking about loyalty a lot lately. How sacred it is when it is rooted in love, and how dangerous it becomes when it's used as a weapon. Now, I have this in about 3 or 4 parts. I have some notes here, so if I look away, please forgive me. So when is loyalty sacred? Loyalty is beautiful when it grows in good soil, when it's tied to care, to riding out storms together, to trust each other, and also when you sit by someone's hospital bed, not because it's easy, but because love calls you there. When you defend your friend behind their back, even when they're not in the room to hear it, that's the kind of loyalty that builds legacy, that keeps marriages, friendships, and communities whole. So part 2, when does loyalty become a cage? And this is a difficult part of it because and I'm going to talk about it plainly because some of us were raised in it. Loyalty that tells you not to speak. Loyalty that tells you don't air dirty laundry. Loyalty that forces survivors of incest or abuse to sit at the same table with the person who hurt them and call it family. It's really sad, isn't it? In some homes, loyalty doesn't protect the innocent, it protects the abuser. So we are told, or you are told, to smile through betrayal. You are told not to embarrass anyone. You are told that keeping the peace matters more than keeping yourself safe. It is so sad, and I know that many of us have experienced this. And then the one who speaks up becomes the problem. God. Not the one who committed the harm. And then I want to speak about what loyalty actually looks like. And let's make it plain. Some of us, or many of us, don't know what real loyalty looks like. So yeah, it is. Excuse me. Loyalty doesn't mean letting your partner be humiliated at family gatherings. It doesn't mean smiling while your mother disrespects your wife. It doesn't mean sitting silently when your brother calls your husband less than a man. If your loyalty disappears when it's time to defend me, then I was never your partner. I was simply your placeholder. But loyalty, real loyalty, keeps saying, not on my watch. It's speaking up even when it's awkward. It's pulling someone aside and saying, you don't get to talk to her like that. Not while she's my wife, or not while he's my husband. Or he may not be your favorite, but he's my husband, and you will treat him with respect. And the other one, for friendships, relationships, women's groups, men's groups, don't tell me what they said about me. Tell me what you said to defend me. Now that's loyalty. So there are some more real examples of loyalty. When you defend your partner, not just in public, but even more in private. You correct your children when they speak disrespectfully to your spouse. You don't gossip about your friend's pain after they confide in you. You don't ride the fence when someone you love is being mistreated. You hold your people accountable because you love them, not in spite of it. And then the loyalty lie. We carry these warped definitions of loyalty into adulthood, into relationships where we're supposed to keep forgiving someone who keeps wounding us, into jobs where we give everything while being underpaid and overlooked. It's also in churches that want your service but not your story. It's also in countries that take your labor, your tax, your talent, but question your worth. Loyalty becomes a leash, not a bond. And so this is the thing that I've been thinking about a lot. And I wanted to ask you, who benefits from your loyalty? Is it mutual or is it one-sided? Have you been loyal to people who would never bleed for you the way you bled for them? And are you being loyal? Or are you being silent to stay safe, right? I know those are tough questions, and we've all been faced with them at some point in our lives. And if you haven't, you will be. So let me say this clearly, and I'm saying it for both of us and for everyone who is suffering in silence. Abuse knows no religion, it knows no race, no gender, no income bracket. Sorry about that, I have the window open, it's pretty warm and we don't have air conditioning. This is the Netherlands. So I was saying that abuse knows no religion, no race, no gender, no income bracket, no level of education, and no borders. It hides in palaces and public housing. It speaks fluent Bible, Quran, Torah, Sanskrit, and silence. And sometimes it wears a mother's voice on her deathbed, asking her daughter to honor the man who defiled her. Can you imagine? I know women who were molested by their fathers, their stepfathers, their uncles, and when their mothers were dying, the one thing they asked for their daughters to do was to take care of those men. If that is so outrageous, it makes me want to cuss. It really does. And that is not normal. That is not loyalty. That is emotional hostage taking. That is generational silence dressed in dignity. To every man, to every woman, to every soul who has ever been asked to stay loyal to someone who harmed them, I want to say this: you don't owe them anything. Not your words, not your protection, and certainly not your loyalty. So let's redefine loyalty, and here's what I've learned through experience. Loyalty without accountability is not love. It's not noble. It's not holy. It's imprisonment dressed up in devotion. I am loyal to love. I am loyal to truth. I am loyal to people who make room for my full voice, not just my silence. And if you're watching this and feeling called out or cracked open, good. I'm sorry for your pain and your tears, and how you've had to hide your real self, and how you work so hard at trying to heal your wounds. So if you cracked open and you find yourself weeping, that means that your spirit is ready to heal. If someone claims to love you but leaves you defenseless in rooms that should have protected you, I need you to hear me. Precious soul, I need you to hear me. That is not love. That is comfort. That is proximity. That is emotional betrayal dressed up in family tradition. Loyalty is not about who you sit beside when the sun is shining. It is about who you defend when the storm clouds roll in, or when those storms roll in. You don't owe loyalty to people who use it to keep you small. Not relatives, not exes, not employers, not to churches, not to pastors, not to imams, not to any religious teacher, not even to the version of yourself that once thought you had to stay quiet to be loved. You are allowed to rewrite what loyalty means, and when you do, you will not lose the people who matter. You will find them. And you know, loyalty isn't always loud. Sometimes it shows up in quiet moments. A paw pressed against your side when your world is falling apart. Or a gentle weight of a gaze that says, I've got you. My dog Finnegan, that's my little doggy in the background there. His name is Finn. My late husband and I rescued him almost a little more than 6 years ago now. And he has got these enormous ears. He's a French tin. So he's 50% French Bulldog and 50% Boston Terrier. And we knew nothing about the breed until we rescued him. And I must tell you that he's rescued me, and he's got these huge ears. And people always remark about his ears. And he's got a little face that I love to say, it's a face that only a mum could love. But those are not just ears, those are angel wings. He has walked beside me through heartbreak, across continents, and into new chapters. It didn't just follow me. He stayed fully, freely, and without question. Now, that's loyalty. If you have a dog, a cat, well, you don't really own a cat. A cat owns you, right? A bird, yeah, we have a bird, and she is a piece of work, but that's a story for another day. So, beloved, this is what I want to say to you. Loyalty is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's not always easy, but it is always sacred. Whether it's the people we love or the companions we cherish, loyalty is a language of the soul. May we learn to speak it more fluently and live in it more faithfully. Last night I didn't sleep a wink because my little Finn was having some stomach issues. Tuesday was terribly hot here. We were in, I think it was 40 degrees, maybe a little higher, which is about 104 degrees, and we'd never let him outside. And Wednesday, when we took him to the park, I literally had to carry him home. He weighs about 13 kilograms, about 30 pounds maybe. And I had to carry him home, and he wasn't quite right Thursday. And last night I was busy writing and he was pacing, and we went out several times. So I didn't sleep because I knew that something was wrong with him. He has been loyal to me through so many seasons of my life, through grief. He gave me purpose and reason to get out of bed. He gave me reason to carry on. And so if you have a fur baby, as I love to call him, who loves you and you're loyal to them, sometimes I feel it's the most unconditional love that you could possibly have. But I also want to remind you to be loyal to yourself first. Pay yourself, pay your bills before you start taking care of everyone else, because my experience has taught me, not from bitterness, but from life's lessons, as long as people are getting what they need from you, they only care about themselves. And the minute you say no, they'll forget about the 10 times that you did help them. So be loyal to yourself. Treat yourself with the same kind of love, the same kind of time, the same kind of patience that you so freely give to everyone else. Beloved, and for many of you, especially those back home in America today, and also in France, I believe it's a long weekend, a time to gather, a time to reflect, and a time to reset. So take extra special care. Breathe, enjoy the holiday, and make space to listen to your soul. Thank you for being here. If this stirred something in you, I hope you sit with it, meditate on it, talk it out loud. And if you're walking through this in real life, just know you're not alone, not by a long shot. Until the next time, take good care. Remember to be kind, because kindness matters. Every one of us is going through something that nobody else knows anything about. So be slow to judge and listen with an open heart. Until the next time, take care and bye for now.